Joanna, can you please take roll?
President Garnica,
Here.
Director Trina Starden, absent. Director Sandra Hudson,
Present.
Director Jacqueline Randall Crowe.
Present. Before Ms. Gonzalez begins her update, I'd like to ask Michelle Diarman from RUHS to walk us through the agenda changes. Michelle?
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, President Garnica, board members, Ms. Cruikshank, Ms. Wade, and the rest of the Palo Verde Hospital team. My name is Michelle Diarmond, and I oversee government relations and communications at RUHS. I have been supporting Ms. Gonzalez with that work here for the past 2 months. And so I thank you for your support during that time. So I want to take just a few minutes and walk you through the agenda changes we're implementing tonight. The first one you're going to see is the implementation of proclamations. And this is to recognize important individuals or events. And this is a practice that we do at virtually every County of Riverside Board of Supervisors meeting. It's a great way to honor people such as Dr. Brooks and Ms. Ruel. And I thank you for supporting the implementation of this practice. And I hope you find it helpful moving forward. The other change I want to review relates to public comment. And the last change I'll go over involves the format of the agenda itself. So with regard to public comment, hopefully everyone who entered the chambers tonight has already learned about the new request to speak cards. These cards do not eliminate your ability to speak in any way. They simply provide some efficiency and structure to how the meeting is run. It's something we use at the County of Riverside Board of Supervisors meetings, and it just helps create a smooth, well-run meeting for the public and for the board members. And as an aside, for those of you who don't already know, I did serve as a chief of staff for 2 members of the County Board of Supervisors, including John Benoit, who represented many of you not too long ago. And I have spent more hours than I can count at county supervisors meetings. And I can assure you that the system that we use is tried and true. And a number of you have participated in county board meetings and are familiar with this. And you've used that same practice yourself as members of the public participating in those meetings. And the goal simply is to increase efficiency while preserving transparency and providing opportunities for public comment. So I just ask that you please bear with us while we implement the new system. In the end, I'm hoping that you'll see why we're doing this. The members of the public will still have the same opportunity to speak as before for a maximum of 3 minutes per item, and none of that changes. And then we'll ask that members of the public turn those cards in to the clerk of the board at least 15 minutes before the meeting begins. And if they wish to speak on something that's not on the agenda, then they can do so during section number 2 on the agenda entitled simply public comment. And if they wish to speak on a specific item that is on the agenda, then they just simply indicate that agenda item on their request to speak card when they turn that in. And then the clerk of the board can call up the speakers in a structured manner, and she ensures everybody gets their time, their allotted time in an organized fashion. So one of the other changes we've made is the implementation of a consent agenda. Oftentimes there are relatively routine agenda items that require board approval for the record, but they don't necessarily require a discussion. And so the items that meet that criteria are the ones that have been placed on the consent agenda, and they can, if the board wishes, be voted on in a block motion vote. That said, again, there is no change to the public's ability to comment. And so if a member of the public wishes to comment on any of these items, they may do so by submitting one of those request to speak cards to the clerk of the board, or if a board member wishes to pull one of those consent agenda items for discussion, she may do so as well. So none of this is designed to interfere with public discussion. It's simply a way to try to improve the flow of the meeting. So shortly, President Garnica will ask each of you which items you want pulled from the consent calendar. And then those items and the ones that have been pulled by the public will be set aside. And then if there's items left on the consent agenda that have not been pulled, the board will be able to vote on those in a block motion at that time. And then after we've completed the consent agenda, of course, you'll move on to your business agenda and later your closed agenda. So we recognize that some of these changes may feel a little awkward at first, or some of you may even not be happy with them. I just ask that we all have a little patience, show some grace, as we try to move forward, we're simply trying to find ways to create some efficiency and structure in the meetings and continue to encourage transparency and community participation for everyone. So I'll turn it back over now to President Garnica and Ms. Gonzalez, and thank you everybody for your time.
Okay, thank you. So next we have Ms. Gonzalez, finance number works for a board update.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll actually turn the time over to our interim speaker. Done.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, because I have heard from some of the public already. So when Michelle asked for grace and patience as we try to implement this new process, it goes both ways. So we understand that this is new for the public, and we also understand, and the county does yield to people. There are times, I heard from the mayor, there are times people get stuck in traffic, or they're coming to their once in a lifetime opportunity to address something very important to them. They show up late to the meeting and the county will yield. So if they show up late to the meeting and they really want to talk, there are also times where the board is listening to public members talk, and then it spurs some sort of thought in another public member's mind, and they want to speak, and they run up to the clerk of the board, and they do yield to the public to allow them to have their time. So we of course want to give you that time. We're just trying to organize the evening. So that hopefully that addresses a little bit of your worries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, my report.
Okay, go ahead.
That's my report. We have no additions, deletions. Business agenda item 8.5, election of board officers, will be deleted until all board members are in attendance. Corrections, we have no corrections. For notations, additional supporting documentation has been added for 2 agenda items to ensure accuracy and completeness. I want to stress that these additions were done in the interest of transparency and providing the public with more information as it became available. There was never an intent to create confusion or mistrust. We are trying to make as much information available to the public as possible. The changes which complied with the law did not result in any material changes to the agenda and were done with the best of intentions. We recognize that there may be some questions about these additions, and we will be mindful of that moving forward. The changes were as follows. For consent agenda item 7.7, emergency declaration, request for ratification of the cooling tower repair. A combined invoice has been included to reflect the full scope of the work, including replacement of the failed fan blade, sprinkler distribution pipe, and scale cooling tower fill. For business agenda item 8.3, request for approval of amendments to the district's bylaws. The red line version of the bylaws was inadvertently omitted and has now been added as supporting documentation. The district's website has been updated with the revised agenda packet, and copies of the added documents are available in the back of the room. In regards to speakers that have signed up for public comment or agenda items, we do have Joey DeConic, which has signed up for all agenda items. And in addition to that, we have legal counsel has requested to pull agenda item 7.12. Turn back over to you, Madam Chair.
So do any of the colleagues have any items that they want to pull from the consent agenda for discussion? As a reminder, any consent items not pulled will be voted on in a block motion. All business agenda items will be voted on individually. So is there public comment? Members of the public are encouraged to address the board of directors. Anyone who wishes to speak during public comment must submit a comment request card to the board clerk at least 15 minutes prior to the start of the meeting. This is an opportunity for citizens to speak on items not listed on the agenda that are of public interest and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the district. For the record, please state your name. The board has a policy of limiting any speaker to not more than 3 minutes. No one may give their time to a speaker during public comment. The chair requests that all present refrain from any action that might disrupt the orderly course of the meeting. Coarse, crude, profane or vulgar language or unsolicited comments from the audience which disrupts and disturbs the board meeting may result in exclusion for the meeting. The board cannot take action on items not listed on the agenda, and board members will not enter into discussion with speakers, but may instead refer the matter to staff for report and recommendations at a future board of directors meetings. Okay, are there any board comments? Any public comment?
We have speaker Jody DeConnick.
Yes, thank you. My name is Joey Goody. And basically, I'm up here right now talking about that item about 15 minutes before this meeting to sign this card. Michelle Barnum, explained a little more, and Jennifer explained a little bit more. But I think the board still needs to be able to ask for public comment in case somebody shows up late or don't know about it. And there might be things surfaced between your board yourself. You might bring up some comments or things, or even the staff members or the attorney during discussion. So my point is, when I read that in my agenda, it said I had to be 15 minutes here early to sign up. So if I showed up at 6 o'clock, I don't want to be in trouble. So when I signed my paper over there, I put all agenda items. And that's my concern. I just want to be able to address things that need to be addressed at this particular time. And at this time, I don't really have any except this one about this new thing, opening the public. City Hall, that's public talk. We open it up. No, we don't make them sign cards, but I don't have a problem with that. But my point is, we still need to be able to let the public, address things that need to be done. So that's what I'm talking about. And right now, I can pull my thing. If it's okay, I'd like to raise my hand if we need to talk on a certain item. But I put down on that piece of paper all agenda items to cover my tip, I guess. So, thank you.
Any more public comment?
So only speakers signed up for.
Oh, that's right. It's- okay. So is there any board comment?
Thank you for that, Mayor. I will say that, working at the college, this is more in line with what we do at the college, but also just as was shared, of course, we're going to take considerations for people who come late and do have to speak. There is still going to be moments during the business section when people want to speak up, but they will have the opportunity to speak. So, but definitely I would hope that we would discuss it and talk about it and make it a little more, transparent and be more open to that. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I'd like to thank you too, because I'm involved with a lot of other meetings, and we still, no matter what meeting we're at, it still gets opened up. So I just want to make sure.
So yes, we definitely let that happen if there are any response.
Talking about this.
Okay, any more public comment?
Or a board comment, I'll make it short. I would agree with you, Joey, on that. But my hope in the future going forward is that with more transparency, with the information being presented in accurate and timely fashion, we don't have the disruption. We don't have the questions because they're getting answered. That's the goal. And after talking to Jen today, I feel confident that will happen. And the public has to be heard. That's just a fact. And they will be heard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'm going to approve the agenda.
So it's been moved to second. Any call for question?
Director Sargent is absent. Director Hudson.
Aye.
Director Randall.
President Garnica.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, we have a presentation. The board of directors would like to present former directors Rosie Rowell and Dr. David Brooks with proclamations recognizing their service and contribution. Sure was a service. At this time, I would like to ask my fellow board members to join me in the front. First, we will call up for Dr. David Brooks. If you have anybody, who want to come and join me for the presentation, we have something that's prepared to read. So, this is for Dr. Brooks. Dr. Brooks has served the Palo Verde Healthcare District and the residents of the Palo Verde Valley with steadfast dedication, compassion, and professionalism for many decades, along with the United Farm Workers. Dr. Brooks graduated from the University of Illinois College of Medicine in Chicago in 1962. Completed his internship at the University of Texas in Galveston in 1963 and his residency in internal medicine at the Valley Medical Center in Fresno, California in 1967. And whereas Dr. Brooks has been board certified and has practiced general and emergency medicine with distinction, providing care to countless patients through his affiliation with the Palo Verde Hospital and Clínica de Salud. And
Whereas Dr. Brooks has selflessly served indigent patients in the broader community, often donating his time to ensure that those in need receive care. And whereas Dr. Brooks' commitment extended beyond the hospital walls, and he made home visits when no home health aid or services were available, attended daily mass, and lived his Catholic faith through compassionate service to the poor and vulnerable. And whereas his selflessness and generosity have been hallmarks of his practice, reflecting a lifelong mission to heal and serve rather than profit, and his guidance as a member of the Palo Verde Healthcare District Board of Directors enriched the organization through his wisdom and medical expertise. And
Whereas Dr. Brooks is fluent in English and Spanish, his personal interest in carpentry, music, fitness, and spiritual growth reflect his well-rounded character and enduring connection to the community he loves. And whereas Dr. Brooks exemplified integrity, humility, devotion, leaving compassion, a legacy of compassion and service that will be long remembered by the people of Palo Verde Valley. Now, therefore, it be resolved, determined, and ordered that the Palo Verde Healthcare District Board of Directors on this 29th day of April 2026 does hereby honor and commend Dr. David Brooks for his extraordinary service, his unwavering commitment to healthcare, his lifelong dedication to the residents of Palo Verde Valley. We offer our most sincere congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. And Dr. Brooks, I love you. Senpai was looking. Well,
commitment that he was there fighting with us.
Did you say I need to be committed?
Yeah. And we want to thank him for all the years and all the battles that we fought. We're here today and we're moving forward. That's the past. And we want to thank you for getting us here to this point. Thank you so much. So next we have, Dr. Brooks, is there anything you'd like to say? Is there any words you'd like to?
Thank you.
Okay, so next we have Rosie Rao. You want to come up, Rosie? another diehard woman. So this recognition is to recognize and honor Rosie Rose. Whereas Rosie Rose was born and raised in Santa Barbara, California, and worked as a single mother, raising 5 children and helping with many of her grandchildren and great-grandchildren, sometimes working 2 and 3 jobs to support her family. In 1991, Miss Rowell earned her Juris Doctor degree, beginning law school in her 50s, never too late, demonstrating perseverance and lifelong dedication to learning. And whereas Mrs. Rowell worked in the hospital in Georgia and Santa Barbara, jack of all trades, as a phlebotomist, exemplifying compassion and professionalism in patient care. And
Whereas from 2004 to 2005, Ms. Rao served as Palo Verde Hospital's board secretary, and from 2006 to 2009, she worked as the hospital's medical staff secretary, contributing to the organization's administrative excellence. And whereas she spent the last 18 years serving as a dedicated accounting tax preparer for H&R Block, and also as a notary public, continuing her lifelong commitment to service and integrity. And whereas Ms. Rao was appointed to the Palo Verde Healthcare District Board of Directors in 2018, where she provided steady leadership and thoughtful guidance. And whereas former Director Rosie Rao was elected Vice President of the Palo Verde Healthcare District on December 14, 2022, and remained in that role until her resignation. She served on the legal committee of the district, established on November 13, 2024, and the Palo Verde Hospital Ad Hoc Committee established by the City of Blythe on June 7, 2025. And whereas Ms. Rao's decades of service reflect her deep commitment to healthcare, community, and the people of the Palo Verde Valley. Now therefore be it resolved, determined, and ordered that the Palo Verde Healthcare District Board of Directors on this 29th day of April 2026 does hereby honor and commend Rosie Rao for her extraordinary service and unwavering commitment to healthcare for the residents of the Palo Verde Valley. We offer our most sincere congratulations on this well-earned recognition.
Thank you so much, you guys. Okay. I miss you. This is this one of the smartest ladies I
thank you.
been. Talking about some words, and thank you. Y'all.
Thank you. Now we're going to take a picture for good memories. Let me see. Okay, I kind of forgot.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hey. So thank you both for your service. Okay, next item. Item 6, reports. I would now like to turn the time over to the CEO.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, as we come together, I want to begin by reflecting on a powerful day this past month at Palo Verde Hospital. A day that truly underscored our purpose. 2 helicopters landed in succession to transport critically ill pediatric patients, both requiring higher levels of care. This moment was a vivid reminder that our hospital is more than just a facility. It is a lifeline for Blythe, saving lives through the dedication and unity of everyone gathered here tonight. Our mission remains crystal clear. Even when the road is anything but easy, the survival of this hospital depends on all of us, our board members, our staff, and the community, all of you. Working together and understanding the unique roles we play. When we focus on our responsibility, whether that's vision, support, or operational expertise, we provide the stability that keeps this hospital moving forward. We must embrace that collective stewardship and unity of purpose. Many of you are understandably eager to see detailed financial information and clarity of our standing. We are committed to that transparency, but as we navigate bankruptcy and untangle the challenges we face today, we are still working to piece the complete financial picture. I assure you, updates that we will be shared with the community soon, and our dedication to openness remains unwavering. Looking ahead, it's important to recognize the obstacles facing healthcare, especially rural critical access hospitals like ours. Nationwide, hospitals are challenged by shrinking reimbursement, rising costs, and workforce shortages. Turnarounds require patience and perseverance. Fortunately, we have the support of an exceptional group of staff at the hospital and a group of experts across the health system and from the county, helping us, bringing their skills to the team to help us navigate back and steer the course. To capture this journey, I'm going to ask you to bear with me. I'd like you to imagine this hospital as a resilient spacecraft. Years of strain and sudden blows have tested us, but through collective effort, staff, community partners, and all the people in this region, we are patching the hull, rewiring systems, and inching towards stability. Progress may be slow and sometimes uneven. There might be steps forward with little steps backward, but this every step forward is really proof of our shared commitment. Palo Verde Hospital is now some exciting new news to get to the real business at hand. The hospital is now participating in California's low barrier to access naloxone program, which provides free Narcan to help community prevent opioid-related deaths. Kits are available to the community and the staff through our emergency department 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And both clinical and trained non-clinical personnel can distribute them. As a registered provider with the state's distribution program, Narcan distribution program, we can also support local agencies, first responders, and community organizations. Recent deliveries have supplied our emergency department with more than 200 free kits, ensuring we have ample resources on hand. We're also working towards building a strong culture of harm reduction, one that treats individuals with respect, reduces stigma, and focuses on saving lives. Staff have received initial training, and Narcan education is available to anyone who asks. Signage and bilingual overdose prevention materials are now posted to help increase awareness. The process is very simple. Any patient or visitor may request Narcan from any staff member, and the staff may offer it proactively. The team members provide a brief education and logs only the quantity dispensed. This is a low barrier approach and ensures life-saving medication is accessible to everyone in need. In recent weeks, we've also seen meaningful progress across our hospital operations and facilities. Palo Verde Hospital was highlighted at the 60th annual Palo Verde Valley Outlook Conference, where Supervisor Perez reaffirmed the county's financial commitment in stabilizing the hospital and recognized the hard work of our staff and its leadership. City officials, including the mayor and interim city manager, also acknowledged the improvements underway. Those improvements are visible throughout the campus. Floors in the hospital and the D building have been stripped and waxed and shine brighter than they've shined in many years. Bathrooms are undergoing plumbing repairs that have been needed. Sidewalks near the emergency department have been power washed. And in case you haven't noticed it, the roof repair is underway. Woo-hoo. We've also cleared out old equipment furniture, and more than 900 boxes of outdated records, reclaiming space and creating a cleaner and safer environment. Our kitchen earned an A grade from the County Department of Environmental Health, and we're working toward expanding food options to our visitors and staff. New signage and refreshed bulletin boards are being installed to ensure patient families and staff have clear access to required notices and timely updates. And we had a visit this week from CDCH, which is the California Department of Public Health, of state legislators, state regulators. And one of the very first things they did is went to look for those signs. We were happy that they were there. We were compliant in that arena. On the clinical side, the emergency medicine staff, the emergency room staff completed skills training day led by RUHS. And the privacy training, it's HIPAA training, is now underway for all employees. Little supplies and services and equipment have been delivered. A new baby warmer was provided by RUHS and is now in service to support our newborns that happen to be delivered in our community. And I think we've delivered in the last 2 months, 3 babies. Plant operations have successfully restored the hospital's cooling tower. Blew up, I think, when it was one of the hottest temperatures of the spring. And that was really important. We also celebrated medical laboratory professionals, recognizing essential role of our lab and the role that they play in delivering accurate, timely results that guide our patient care decisions. Well, as we continue tonight, let's stay focused on our mission and respect our roles that the hospital and help make this hospital resilient. Let's offer one another the patience and grace. That's my word for the 8 weeks or the 180 days that we're here. Grace, please extend it to me. I will extend it to everybody around me, knowing that this journey will indeed take time, but also that transparency and progress are within reach. Together, we will keep Palo Verde Hospital moving forward, protecting our crew and serving the people in Blythe for many years to come. Thank you for your dedication and your commitment to this community.
Thank you. Okay, so next. We have a financial update.
Madam Chair, we do have a public.
Oh, okay, sorry.
John,
I just put that on there to cover my thing on any
Okay.
comment, but I would like to thank Jennifer, if you don't mind.
Okay,
Thank you and the staff and everything for what they're doing. So my point is, I'm just trying to show something by putting that on all of them. So I'm covered when I need to talk. Okay? I learned from the rules already a long time ago. Okay?
thank you.
okay, public comment.
I can't tell you or anyone else how thrilled I was to pull into the parking lot today and see the roof. And when I saw the part of the conference room also being done, I really went and cried. It was like, we haven't had any physical improvement in so long. It was really heartwarming. It meant a lot. So thank you, all of you.
Yes, just to piggyback off of them, I did attend the skills training last week and I was amazed to see the staff who was there and they were eagerly wanting to get that information. And so I'm excited. I'm very excited. They were eager. We needed Keisha, you've been on it. I'm glad to hear that. We're in compliance with a lot of things that we weren't just a month ago. So thank you all. Thank you, RUHS. You guys have been phenomenal. So thank you very much. And keep up the good work. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. So I turn the time over to interim chief financial. Mr. Samora.
Hello, good evening.
Good
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you, board. Joe Zamora, Chief Financial Officer, happy to be providing a brief finance update today. Over the past several weeks, we've continued to build on our initial stabilization efforts by improving system access, strengthening processes, and working closely with the Palo Verde finance team to enhance overall financial operations. To give you a few updates on some of our progress and highlights, we've expanded access to systems and data, enabling improved reporting and visibility. We've engaged with the external billing company and began a deeper revenue cycle analysis. We have continued stabilization of accounts payable. We ran 5 check runs totaling $1.2 million since the last update. We have made strong progress with HCI on the loan forgiveness program, with a decision expected in mid-May. We have initiated concurrent work to bring multiple years of financial statements and audits current by the end of this calendar year. We've identified additional regulatory items and incorporated them into our compliance action plan. In summary, we continue to make steady progress, transitioning from stabilization towards execution. Our focus remains on improving financial reporting, strengthening revenue cycle performance, achieving regulatory compliance, and building a sustainable financial foundation for Palo Verde. Those are our updates at this time. Again, I know there's a desire for more information, more transparency, and I think we hope to bring further information to you next month.
Madam President, we have a public.
Okay.
You can pull me off, I'll raise my hand, okay?
Okay, but right now there's not any. Okay.
Well, I just. Thank you.
Okay, so next, then I will turn it over to the interim chief medics officer, Dr. Nika.
Hello, thank you, board. Lovely to be here, and members of the public. I'm here to give a report on credentials committee. Our last, as a reminder, the delegation for credentials and privileging has been delegated via MSA to the RUHS credentialing team in support of Crystal and Dakota. Our credentialing meeting was held on 3/27, and the meeting minutes and the votes were ratified at the MEC on 4/9. I'm coming to you here today. We have one reappointment of our family nurse practitioner. We have one resignation for failure to complete reappointment of one of our telepsychiatrists. In addition, in that meeting, the forms to ensure safe, quality, temporary privileges were approved for our emergency room physicians and ratified. To date, since that ratification, we've had 13 of our new emergency room physicians gone through the process, so there'll be 13 new credentialed, temporary privileged credentialed providers joining our team. Thank you. I'll take any questions. Joey's not hitting Leah.
I totally agree, Joey.
I don't know how to make the system work now.
Just for clarification, when is that team going to start?
That team is starting at 8 a.m. on Friday morning, May 1st.
And it's fully staffed through the month.
It is fully staffed for the next 3 months. The schedules are complete for 3 months.
That's all. That's excellent news.
Thank you.
So the next item on the agenda is item 7. We have the consent agenda. The board hereby provides notice of the implementation of a consent agenda process. Going forward, items may be placed on a consent agenda and approved in a single motion, unless a board member, department staff, or member of the public requests that a specific item be pulled. Members of the public who wish to comment on an item listed on the consent agenda may do so by submitting a speaker card to the clerk of the board at least 15 minutes prior to the start of the meeting. The board has a policy of limiting any speaker to not more than 3 minutes. No one may give their time to a speaker during the public comment. Any item requested to be removed will be addressed separately in accordance with the standard meeting procedures. Ms. Gonzalez, please remind us which consent agenda items are pulled.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We have a public speaker, Joey Kwani, that pulled all agenda items. In addition to that, legal counsel has requested to pull agenda item 7.12.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the balance of the consent agenda, not including the items that Mrs. Gonzalez noted have been pulled?
Madam Chair, all agenda items have been pulled. All items need to be voted upon individuals.
Oh, okay. So, okay, so we don't have to do a motion, get the motion per item.
Per item.
Okay, so item 7.12. Requesting,
Madam
7.1, so Item 7.1, requesting approval of the minutes from March 25, 2026 for the meeting. Motion.
We have public speaker, Joey.
Well, I think I mentioned to you a minute ago, I put that on there just to cover my stuff.
Okay, you don't-
I do not have any problem with any agenda items.
None of the consent agenda items.
Yes,
Thank you for clarifying.
and then the rest of the meeting too, okay? I did that to protect myself against the talk, I needed to. But when I was told we could still talk if we need to. Thank you.
So is there a motion to approve item 7.1?
Myself.
Madam President, it would be items 7.1 through 7.11, 7.12 was pulled by legal counsel. And then part of the blanket motion would be also item 7.13.
Change.
I thought we were gonna do item by item. Yeah, please.
So the mayor simply stated that he had put that down in an abundance of caution, but he does not want to pull them all from the consent calendar. So you're going to vote on everything in one blanket motion, except for the one that I requested be pulled, which is 7.12. So the motion of the evening?
Oh, I spread up a mess, I guess.
So, Ms. Gonzalez, please guide us to the consent agenda items that have been pulled. Which is,
7.12.
okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move.
A second.
And just for clarification, again, that's excluding 7.12.
Excluding 7.12.
Make the motion excluding 7.12.
A second.
Director Starling is absent. Director Hudson,
Aye.
Director Randall Crowe,
Aye.
President Garnica.
Aye. Okay, item 8.
Madam President, 7.12 was pulled by legal counsel.
Thank you. May I speak?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I have requested that this item be pulled because prior to the meeting, I toured the facility with your interim CEO and your risk manager. So it turns out that most of the property that needs to be disposed of in order for it to be safe is under $100. So what we're gonna ask that you amend this motion or this resolution such that you're allowing your CEO to dispose of property equal to or less than $100, and everything else will be coming before this board prior to disposition.
So, we need a motion on that or?
Yes, your staff is requesting a motion to approve the resolution with that one change that your CEO can go ahead and move forward with disposition for property equal to or less than 100. And the process is set forth in the resolution.
I'll make the motion. As stated by Ms. Wade.
Okay, so this part of the question?
Director Starling is absent. Director Hudson,
Aye.
Thank you.
Director Randall Crowe,
Do we have discussion on that? Before, sorry.
Yes, there should have been public comment and then board comments. Sorry.
You should. No, I did. Just a clarification, because I know that the previous conversations, there was a different amount, so it's just a drastic amount difference. So I just wanted to clarify that everyone is okay with that. And just for clarification, just so we're all clear.
Comment. Actually, the original amount that was approved for the CEO to dispense or dispose of surplus property was allowed to the CEO up to $75,000. That seemed excessive to me. And actually, I didn't want that authority. So I really wanted to come to the board for anything over a value of $100, so that we're having clear transparency if there's some asset that we're going to dispose of or reallocate to someone else, I want to get involved in that discussion.
Thank you. Just want, that's all I'm gonna say. So, thank you very much.
Public question? Oh, public comment? Public question?
Dr. Hudson? Dr. Randall Crowe?
Aye.
President Garnica?
Aye. Okay, so next item is business items. Request approval of resolution number 2026-11, continuing expenditures and revenues in accordance with the fiscal year 2024-2025 district budget in lieu of fiscal year 25-26 budget adoption. I will now turn this over to Mr.
Good evening. Today, we are seeking your approval on resolution number 2026-11. So a significant number of material financial events have occurred in fiscal year 2025-2026, including addressing structural budget deficit, initiatives to fund the voluntary rate range programs of GT, the Chapter 9 bankruptcy filing, and then the emergency loans from the city of Blythe and the county of Riverside. Fortunately, we have RUHS here working diligently to stabilize operations. And with RUHS's effort at the district, additional time is required to evaluate and incorporate pending actions initiated by the county into the comprehensive plan and including the use of the IGT funding. Staff will provide the board with a budget for fiscal year 25-26, including recommended budget actions for the subsequent year. This approach will also ensure that essential expenditures are prioritized throughout the district's bankruptcy proceedings under a dependency plan budget and facilitate alignment of financial strategies with evolving legal and operational requirements. The board may pass a continuing resolution to give the county and the district staff more time to review operations and budgets. This allows the district to meet payroll on contracts and maintain essential services until fiscal year budget is approved. Staff recommends that the district board adopt a continuing resolution and authorize an extension of at least 60 days, no later than June 24th, 2026, for staff to complete the development of the budget. The operating capital budget for fiscal year 25-26 must be approved by the board no later than June 24th, 2026. We do have Ms. Burke of Burke Consulting and Mr. Zamora of RUHS online if there are any questions to address. Thank you.
Okay, so is there any public comment on this item? Is there any board comment?
No.
Okay, so, we will now go to, we need our votes. So, can we have a motion? Is it going to be individual? Okay, so, motion?
I'll second.
Call for the question?
Thank you. Dr. Sardin is absent. Dr. Hudson?
Aye.
Dr. Randall Crowe?
Aye.
President Garnica?
Aye. Next item on the agenda is item A2. Request approval of memorandum of understanding between RUHS Medical Center and the Palo Verde Hospital. Okay, now we will turn this over to Mr. Samoa.
Yes, good evening again. The item you have before you, as the president described, is a MOU between RUHS and Palo Verde that will allow us to bring Vituity on as the emergency room doctors. The maximum annual agreement is $3.8 million. That is max. There will be some details to how physician contracts work. That will not be the actual cost to Palo Verde through this MOU. And then this MOU is just temporary while we work on a direct contract between Palo Verde and Vituity. We think these physician services will increase the quality of care in the emergency department. We think we think these physicians will also be able to increase collections, and that will ultimately reduce the $3.8 million contract amount that the hospital will reimburse for. Happy to answer any other questions on that. If not, we'd look for a motion to approve.
So is there any public comment on this item? Is there any board comment?
I have a question, Joe. Hi, Sandy Hudson. I'm curious as to how long this contract would be for initially.
Can someone help me with the contract term? I forget what term we put on this while we work on that direct contract.
I think it was for a year.
No. I believe it was for 3 months, but literally 3 months while you negotiate directly with my tutors. I believe that's what it's. Yes.
Apologies, I'm trying to bring the item up myself too.
I'm curious just as to what the obligation is in time.
2 seconds, I think.
Well, if it's 3 months while they're working on it, get coming back in front of the city.
Yes, it will. You know what? It was through October. So it was a little while longer than that. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, we have a motion to approve.
Awesome.
I'll second it.
Okay, call for the question.
Director Sturman is absent. Director Hudson,
Aye.
Director Randall Crowe,
Aye.
President Garnica.
Aye. Next item on the agenda is item A3, requesting approval of amendments to the district's bylaws.
Yes,
Okay, we'll turn that over to Ms. Lane.
yes, thank you. So before you are the amended and restated bylaws of this board of directors. What we've attempted to do was clean up the bylaws. There were some typos and what have you, and symbols. So we dealt with that. Also, we wanted to delineate what the roles are, which are typical of a board and the CEO. And so the board establishes, sets forth the policies, strategic vision, things of that nature. You hire a competent CEO who makes sure that she implements those things. And that the employees under her report to her. And so that was the purpose of this. Also, we wanted to also fix the offices of secretary and treasurer. Because a lot of those items that are imposed on the secretary, for instance, maintaining minutes, agendizing and noticing meetings, it really falls upon the board clerk. So the person who serves as the secretary, for instance, will ensure that the CEO identifies and engages that person. Same with the treasurer. It's really the CFO who does all of that work. And as though that whoever serves as the treasurer would ensure that the CEO identifies that person. And the board, of course, is authorized to exercise all of the powers that are set forth in the Health and Safety Code, healthcare district law. So if there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to address those for you.
Any public comment? Okay. So can we?
Motion, all right. I have a question. I'm just not sure exactly how to ask it, to be honest. I'd like to clarify in some fashion. I'd like to clarify in some fashion how the board, when we find ourselves in a position like we have found ourselves in the past, when we were getting the information to make accurate decisions. I understand the CEO's role. I also understand the board's role. And when we are prevented from getting the information that we need, I feel like there should be something in place to allow us access to all the information.
So that would be something that you work out with your CEO. If you're not pleased with that, you can do an evaluation and counsel her and guide her or him. But that's the mechanism to ensure that that happens because CEO.
I'm talking in the future. I'm not, I have confidence in Jen and this team. I really do. I think that based on history, we need to make sure in the future that we can protect ourselves.
Yes, so the CEO beyond Jen serves at the pleasure of the board. So that would be under your purview. If you're not pleased with it, you counsel her, you or him, and you demand that that is fulfilled. And if not, then you take action.
Yes.
When you look across the country and you look at organizations that are failing, when there is a distrust between the board and the executive leadership at those organizations. And there's something failing, whether it's a real problem or imagined, that is ultimately a leader to the demise of that organization. So that organization is not going to survive. So it is really important that you hire the CEO and that CEO serves you in a way that meets you as an entire board's need. And you have the responsibility to hold, at this time, me accountable to my job. And if I'm not meeting that need, you need to replace. So, and that is true going forward. That is really your primary responsibility. So, and I will say that any CEO that is at odds with their board, you all should be having conversations about whether or not this is the right fit, because this organization is what we're all here to support. We can't be battling with one another. We have to figure out where the problem is. And if I will just use me for now, if I'm unable to deliver the results that you intend for me to deliver, now you may have unreasonable expectations and we may not agree on how I'm delivering them, but if I'm not giving you transparent information, then I'm not doing my job. But I think we do have to have honest conversations about expectations, deliverables, and outcomes. And then and then it goes from there. Like, that is your job to decide whether or not you employ the CEO or you move to a new one.
So. The second.
The second.
Oh, you second? Okay, so can you call for the question?
Is that something? Move the motion?
Sorry.
Did you make the motion?
I didn't make a motion.
Director Sardin is absent. Director Hudson.
Aye.
Director Randall Cruz.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye. Okay, item 8.4. Requesting to approve the adoption of a good governance code of conduct and ethics. Okay, so we turn that over to Queen.
Thank you. So this is a document to establish a process for good conduct and ethics. And it is my opinion that it is in the spirit of the MSA. So the county was looking for some of this from you, just to show that you can work cohesively, follow the law, disclose conflicts, maintain order at your meetings and such. So I think it's pretty explanatory. However, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to address them.
Okay, so is there any public comment on this item? Okay, is there any board comment on this?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been hard at work on these, even the previous one, but definitely this one as well. Just to actually show that we're in here as together and we can also have a conversation without, being attacking each other. So this is all about taking care of this hospital. So I do appreciate the opportunity to call that. So thank you.
So can we call for the question? Oh, I'm sorry, do you have a motion? I move.
I'll second.
Director Sardin is absent. Director Hudson.
Aye.
Director Randall Cruz.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye. Okay, next item is 8. I'm not doing 8 item. Yeah. Okay, I would like to now turn the time over to General Counsel, Ms. Wade, to read us out the session.
Before I read you out, do you want to go ahead and call for public comment with regards to the items listed in the closed session?
Okay, is there any public comment on the items? Okay. Want me to go ahead and read them or no? Just is there any public comment on the items going into closed session? Okay, this way.
Yes, thank you. So with respect to closed session agenda items 9.1, hospital quality assurance report pursuant to Health and Safety Code section 32155. And item 9.2, conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code section 54956.9D1, and it's the bankruptcy.
So now we went to closed session.